Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel, where today we're making churros. Churros is like a parachute dough that it is fried. Now for this recipe, which you gotta follow to the T, we're gonna need 1 cup of unsalted butter. It's cut into chunks, half of a cup of sugar, 1 cup of bread flour. We're also going to be using about half of a teaspoon of kosher salt of your choice. We're gonna use give or take 3 large eggs, and then we're gonna be using another mixture of cinnamon and sugar, and that you could make to your liking. You like more cinnamon, you add more cinnamon. If you don't like a lot of cinnamon, and you don't. So let's just get started with this. So in a pot, you're gonna add, and I'm sorry I forgot to let you know, but we're also gonna need a cup of water. So in our pot, we're gonna put our water, our butter, our sugar, and our salt. I'm actually going to use a half of a teaspoon of salt. So let's go with half of a teaspoon of salt, and we're gonna bring this to a rolling boil. Once it's at a rolling boil, make sure you have a wooden spoon, which you're gonna be using soon. Make sure you have everything ready, because once this comes to a rolling boil and everything in there is melted, we're gonna dump in all our bread flour all at once, and we're going to stir the living crap out of this until the flour taste is cooked off, and you're gonna see it's gonna form into a ball. It's gonna start to not stick anywhere. It's just gonna make a ball right around the sides, and then we'll cook that for approximately another minute or so, minute or two, just until everything is cooked in, and then we'll take it from there. But I'll show you that step by step. So as you can tell, this has come to a full rolling boil. We're gonna add all our flour all at once, and we're gonna get off the heat for 2 seconds and stir, lower the flame, and just continue to stir until all the flour gets incorporated. Continue stirring, don't stop. And we continue stirring. You could tell it's already formed the ball, but we want to continue flattening and stirring. We want to cook off the flour, and we're going to do this for a few minutes, maybe 2 minutes or so. And we continue doing this until it is where we want it. So we've been mixing, we're just trying to dry it out a little bit. So we've been mixing for a little bit now. At this moment, we're going to shut this off, and we're going to go to our mixer. So we have our mixer with the paddle attachment. We're going to add our dough directly in there. As you can tell by the way it looks when I put it in, it's fairly dry. And we're going to go ahead and get this started at around a 3-4, and we're going to allow this until the steam is pretty much cooked out of that, or cooled out of that. We're going to let this mix in here just until it's cold, so we can add our eggs. And while our mixture is cooling there, we're going to take a small plate. We're going to add half of a cup of regular granulated sugar, and we want to add the amount of cinnamon that you prefer. We're using powdered cinnamon, and I'm going to go ahead and add about a teaspoon at first, and let's mix it. I'm going to use my hands to mix this. I think this is perfect. So for half a cup of sugar, I added 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, and we're gonna set this aside. And just for the record, here, I don't know how much you can actually see because it's a black pot, but in here I have oil, which I am gonna start heating up. Okay, so let's get going. Our mixture is cooling, and we're gonna start by adding 1 egg at a time and let it incorporate. We're gonna add another egg. This is still at low speed. We're gonna let that incorporate really well before we add the 3rd egg. Make sure you crack your eggs in a different container because you never know when you're gonna get a bad egg. Beautiful. We're gonna add our 3rd egg and let that mix for about a minute or 2. In the meantime, you want to prepare a piping bag, and we're going to use a number 826 tip or a big star tip to make your churros. Now we're just going to allow this to mix before we start piping directly into our oil. So our churro mixture is nice and done. You can tell because it forms kind of ribbon. It stretches really well. And now we're just going to get started. So once your oil comes to temperature, we're going to start by simply you making them as long as you want to make them. You could do it with your finger or grab a pair of scissors and cut them. You can make them big, you can make them small. You can make them into shapes. It's all up to you. Possibilities are endless here. Now, you do want to have prepared anything that you can, anything slotted so you can pick them up without taking more added oil into your sugar mixture. And we're going to let these cook until golden brown on each side. And we put them into our sugar mixture. And we're going to let these cook for a few minutes. Once they are golden brown, you just keep flipping until they're golden on all sides. So once they're golden, and let's leave them for just a little longer. I want them to be a little crispier. But once they're golden on all sides, we can put them directly into sugar. But we are going to actually put it in a piece of napkin and let the excess oil come out of it before we put them in the sugar. So now we're just going to remove these and we're going to continue frying, and I'll show you how I dip them. So while the others are frying, we take these out and we put them in our cinnamon sugar. And it's just a matter of getting them all completely coated. So we coat them, beautiful. We coat. And we continue doing this until we have all our churros already made. Next, we eat. And here we have our churros. What I did is that the leftover sugar, the cinnamon sugar, I just put it right on top. So once you lift them, you just pick out the sugar and go with it. And that's it. These are my churros. These churros, I'm accompanying them by, this is store-bought chocolate sauce, or you could just use homemade ganache and a homemade caramel sauce to dip. There you go. This is our churros here at Maddie's Puerto Rican kitchen. Thanks for watching. Thanks for spending time here in my kitchen. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. That way once I put on a new video, you guys get it at first. Thanks again for spending some time with me. And God bless you. And I will see you guys on the next video. Bye.